Hi crafting friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, a special welcome. I'm taking you through this glittery forest of trees and showing you some really pretty vintage items that I'm going to combine with some Dollar Tree supplies, Dollar Tree boxes, vintage containers, gift tins, and I'm going to create some enchanting stories on top of each of these containers using a wide variety of fun, festive, decorative elements. To buy some of my supplies, I went to my local antique store. This is a fun place with over 100 different booths, and it's always fun just to browse around. The holidays, especially Christmas, are really sentimental times that evoke nostalgic feelings. And I think that's why so many of us are drawn to the vintage style of ornaments and balls and all kinds of items that really do bring back some of those nostalgic feelings. For just a moment, I invite you to walk with me as we explore some of these aisles and booths and look at some of these lovely vintage antique finds. For those of you who follow my channel, you know that most of my supplies for crafting come from the Dollar Tree, but it's fun to combine those Dollar Tree items with other specialty things that really do elevate the look and create uniquely delightful decorative items. And antique stores, thrift stores, Goodwill stores are great for finding those kind of things. This meaningful message was my favorite discovery in the store. I'm going to begin now with this first vintage tin. The can is decorated on all sides with these nostalgic pictures, so I'm going to complement it by using nostalgic decorative items. But first, we need to fill it so that we can lay in our floral foam. The floral foam will form the foundation for adding in all of the decorative embellishments. I used some cotton batting, and here I'm packing in some of this foam that I got in a delivery box. So it's just building up the bottom to allow me to then lay in that square of floral foam to serve as our foundation. This floral foam is from the Dollar Tree and is very soft, and it's very easy then to use the side of the can to cut pieces to fill in those curved gaps. We want it flat all the way across the top. It doesn't have to be real neat because all of that's going to be concealed. We have this level foundation of Dollar Tree floral foam. The fun begins. We're going to let our imaginations take flight as we combine elements to create a beautiful vignette. I'm starting out with a bottle brush tree. Now you'll notice there's some pretty cranberry red in the outfits on some of the pictures. So I found this collection of trees at Marshall's, and I bought a box of 5. Dollar Tree has them as well, but I didn't find this exact color. But for this one, I'm going to use this cranberry red, and I'm using some hot glue after removing that wooden base. That wooden base just simply unscrewed. And now I'm inserting that sharp wired tip covered with hot glue into the back center of this tin. The next thing I'm going to do is choose my principal element, which is one of these from a set of vintage salt and pepper shakers. And it's got a beautiful verse. We give you thanks for all your gifts, and you see she has her hands folded in prayer. I thought it was a lovely echo of the sentiment that's depicted on this tin, which shows a lot of sharing and good times. Here I have an assortment of small balls. I bought 3 different boxes of these. Dollar Tree has an assortment of small balls. These I found also at Marshall's, and I thought the colors were so pretty. Each box has a different color palette. These have a more muted matted finish, which I thought looked really pretty with the vintage classic look. So I'm just pulling out some that I thought would be really pretty as enhancements. And you can see I'm just using hot glue. Here I have 3 bottle brush trees from the Dollar Tree. These little gold ones again are lovely complements to the gold in the designs of the tin. I'll add in some of the gold balls as well as 3 of these little gold bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree. As you create these charming scenes, you'll want to tie together the colors that you see in the design of the tin, as well as the sense of the theme. You'll be amazed, really, as you look at the design and get a sense of items that would echo that theme. I found my items at antique stores, thrift stores, Dollar Tree, and in my own collection of ornaments. Here you can see I'm adding in another gold bottle brush tree as well as this red ball. And you see I took off the hanging hook and just added hot glue. The little wooden house I found in a collection from an antique store. It's amazing how all of these elements do come together to create a really playful design. Now, in this case, I want to also tell you that more is more. You want to really fill it up. You don't want any holes exposed. You want all that floral foam concealed. These items are not expensive. If you look around Goodwill or thrift stores, or we happen to have a very nice antique store near us, and you'd be amazed all the little miniatures that you can find. Some of them are new in the package. Here's some pearls on a beaded trim that I purchased from Amazon. I actually got it in 3 colors, blue, pink, and the natural pearl color, because I thought it would be so pretty woven throughout these designs. It creates a very unifying effect, but also just a very exquisite look as it's draped throughout. You'll see I'm going to continue to add strands of that, even allowing some of it to drape. But now I'm continuing to add more of our balls. Here's a pretty one that I thought added a little bit of brightness. And I'm also going to add in some other little wooden elements to complement the wooden house. As you can see, I also decided to add in some balls that had some of the glittered finish on them, and that adds another really pretty element of texture and shine. Here I'm using this blue beaded strand as a garland, weaving it through around all of the different ornaments and balls and different figures that are in here, even allowing some of it to drape. And it's a very unifying element, very exquisite touch. Now I'm adding in some of the Dollar Tree glittered pipe cleaners, and these are really pretty to use to outline the rim of your container. So a drop of hot glue on either end works really well to hold it in place. You can choose any colors that complement the color palette on your tin. Here I thought gold and red would be pretty, and I'm just securing them all the way around that rim of the container. You can see that adding the red one underneath that strand of gold really does bring in a nice pop of color. To fill in some little gaps, I decided to add some pearls. These are from Dollar Tree, and they're really pretty soft colors that complement the colors in the design. I decided to stack them, so I made a little pool of hot glue and then just secured them in place. After creating a cluster of these pearls, I used some more of the garland just to drape and weave throughout our design. I used a drop of hot glue in just a couple of places, but for the most part, it just weaves in and out of all of the different balls and figurines, so it really does stay in place nicely. The next thing I did was to add some more embellishments to the back of the design. Here I'm just adding a little peppermint-shaped embellishment that I took off the bottom of that pink bottle brush tree from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to go ahead and tuck that in the back, securing it with some hot glue. This is the first time I've created something like this, and I'm so thrilled with this craft. I think you'll enjoy it very much too. For those of you who are new, my name is Lisa, and I'd love to invite you to consider subscribing to my channel. It's fun, free, and festive. For our next project, we're going to use almost entirely Dollar Tree items. All $1.25 snowman, this decorative box, as well as a bottle brush tree. I'm also using this sweet little deer that I got from an antique store. You could find similar many places. I'm starting out by adding a nice amount of hot glue to the wooden knob on the bottom of this bottle brush tree. And then I'm just going to secure it in that upper left corner. Now, the next star of the show is going to be this sweet little snowman. I found this at the Dollar Tree. It's part of their ornaments collection. I'm beginning by removing those arms, but I do intend to reinsert them. You could also replace them with sticks from your yard, or I've also used Dollar Tree cinnamon sticks that I've broken up to look like twig arms. I'm removing the hat with the intention of replacing it at a different angle. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Next, I'm going to remove that bottom snowball. We want to create the look of a melting snowman. To do that, I'll show you the little tips and techniques I've learned. We want to be able to position him at an angle, leaning backward as though he's melting in place. So to do that, I remove the bottom snowball, and now I'm cutting at an angle away some of that styrofoam in the back. It doesn't have to be real neat, but you do want to create that angled section so that he'll lean backward when you glue him down. I'm using a pool of hot glue and positioning the snowman toward the back of the box. I want to have plenty of surface area in front of him for the melting effect. To do that, I'm using a copious amount of hot glue, which I'm just putting around the front of him and also around the sides. And you just want to squirt out that hot glue, first of all, making sure that he is secure, and then just creating a nice pool that'll look like melting snow. The next step is to replace the hat, but this time to put it at an angle as though it's melting and the hat is slipping downward. And you see here now I'm just enlarging that pool of hot glue surrounding him. Once it dries partially, I'm going to then sprinkle on some very fine glitter that I purchased from Amazon. Adding this fine glitter creates the effect of sparkly, glistening, melting snow. I think it's remarkable how realistic the effect is. I also replaced the twig arms, and I tucked a little sprig of greenery under his cap. I wanted to conceal the little spot of original hot glue where the hanging cord was as well. Now, before I add in our sweet little deer, I'm going to use a jingle bell from this package I bought at the Crafter's Square section in Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to use that to embellish his scarf, adding on a drop of hot glue to hold it in place. Each charming detail really does make a difference to enhance the overall effect. Now I'm going to add in our sweet little deer. Now I'm adding a little drizzle of hot glue over the ends of these twig arms to create the illusion of melting snow that's frozen again. And adding a little sprinkle of the glitter over that hot glue just finishes off that glistening effect. Now I'm going to use some hot glue on the bottoms of all 4 of the little deer's paws so that I can adhere it in place. I'm propping it up partially against that icy layer. You can see that the deer is now inquisitively looking at her newly discovered forest friend. It's so much fun to see the stories come to life as you put these arrangements together. One of the final steps now is to use some of that beaded trim. This time I'm choosing the pink, and I'm going to use it as a garland around our snow-dusted tree. It's very easy to just encircle the tree. The beads cling to those bristle brush branches. That's a tongue twister. And you can see I'm just going all the way around. You only need a drop or two of hot glue to hold the ends in place. And after getting the beaded garland secured in place, I'm going to add a final decorative detail. I bought a package of glittery pipe cleaners from the Dollar Tree, and I'm choosing 2 of the silver ones to outline the top rim of the lid of the box. By adding a drop of hot glue on either end, it will hold it in place and allow you to still open and close the box easily. This box is a gift in itself, but it also would be very useful to hold a special present for someone at Christmas time or even for a winter birthday. So I want to make sure that the box is still functional while being very decorative. I would love to hear your comments and suggestions in the comment section below. Please let me know which of these projects you especially enjoyed. I love reading the comments. I read every one and reply to all of them. It's such a blessing to get to know the members of this community as we share our crafting joys and ideas. Here's the finished project. I'm so delighted with the charm of this, and I look forward to using it to hold a special gift. This empty chocolate tin, a gift from my son Christian, is absolutely one of my favorites. I love the moon and the scenes and the color palette on this, so I thought it would be a playful design. And to decorate the top whimsically, I have some options here. Some bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree, some, as you can see, sparkly doves from the Dollar Tree, other embellishments. I'm going to begin by filling the base with some packing styrofoam that came out of a package. Then I'm going to use some of the Dollar Tree floral foam to build up a foundation on which to create our scene. Dollar Tree has several different varieties, but I like this one. These are individual squares. You get 4 in the package for $1.25. So I'm just kind of lining them up, but you see, because of the curvature of the tin, we're going to have to cut them. I found the easiest way to do that is just to press them against the side of the rim and then just press down, and that cuts right through that soft foam. It doesn't have to be neat, but it does need to ultimately be level so that it will be easy to build your design. You can see here how I'm packing in another layer just to level it out. I have this charming angel swinging in front of the crescent moon. I found this at that antique store, but it's oversized for this container, so we'll just save that for another project. I'm going to start with one of the pink bottle brush trees. I find when designing the top of these, it works best if you start with the larger items toward the back and work forward. So the next piece you see I'm using is a sweet little small angel that I found at that antique store. Another really fun element are these very nostalgic colored light bulbs. And I remember these on our Christmas tree when I was growing up. So I was happy to find a package of these at the antique store. And I also ordered some more on eBay. Now I'm adding in some small bulbs and ornaments. I found these at Dollar Tree and also at Marshall's. So I've just got a whole bunch of them here, and I'm trying to choose colors, as you see, that'll coordinate nicely with the color palette in the designs. I also want to emphasize the skyscape with the stars and the moon. So I have this scatter from Dollar Tree. All of these gold stars look so pretty, shimmering in among the other ornaments. Here's some more pinks that I have. Dollar Tree sells large packages of the mini ornaments for just $1.25. It's an excellent value because you'll find you need quite a few of them, because the goal is to really create a lush design where you don't have any visible floral foam. Here's a package of pretty sparkly doves that I bought in Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use hot glue as I've used on all of the other ornaments, and just hot glue that toward the back there against the bottle brush tree. And speaking of bottle brush trees, I bought a package of these at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just using hot glue on the base to add that in. The more different, interesting elements you can find that complement and echo the theme of your container's designs, the better your project will look. And you do want to load it. Pile things in, make it sparkle, have fun with this. The more playful and colorful it is, the better. Here comes another vintage light bulb. I used quite a few of these, and I think they add a really pretty touch. You can see that it's filling up now, and I'm just going to keep adding decorative balls. Here I have some pretty ones. I thought I would bring out some of the blue of the container, and I did that with one of the Christmas light bulbs, as well as some of these blue shiny ornaments. This is a piece of the Dollar Tree vase filler that comes in a large package. I used some of those glittery balls as well as you see as some of the glittery gold stars that were also part of the Dollar Tree scatter. Here's another one of the vintage light bulbs in another shade of blue. I'm trying to draw out all of the different shades of blue that is present in the design on the tin. You can see that the yellow light bulbs also look really pretty, as there is some yellow in the design on the tin as well, and it adds some depth of color to the overall palette that we're creating. Here, just another shiny ball, and I'm also adding in some more of the star-shaped ornaments. As you create visual interest, you will find that these are so much fun to design. This is so charming. I'm so happy with the way this one's turning out. I think it's my favorite that I've done so far. Now I want to go ahead and just turn it around and add some decorative elements to the back side, because we don't want it to be unfinished from any visual perspective. We'll go ahead and just add some more pretty colorful balls, as well as another one of the vintage light bulbs to the back. And I'll show you that result in just a moment. But I was eager to add our tree topper. I had this sweet little angel as part of an ornament collection, and she fits just perfectly on the top. Now let me show this to you. I think from all sides, it really looks charming. From the very top all the way down, it echoes the theme of the design of our tin. But I decided to add one more element, and that is some beaded trim that I purchased from Amazon. I have it in pink, white, and blue, and I decided to go ahead and use it as a garland in the pink and the blue colors. So I'm going to go ahead and just unroll some of this spool and weave it through all of the balls and decorative elements in the design. After winding some of the white pearl garland through, I decided to also drape through some of the blue beaded garlands, and it just finished it off, really acting as a unifying element. It serves to further decorate the little bottle brush tree, and also just to tie the whole design together. Those beads are so delicate, and I think they add a very exquisite touch. Here I'm draping through now some of the blue beaded garland, and again that just brings out some of the beautiful blue tones in the tin, and again just ties the whole theme together. For a finishing detail on the border of the top of the rim of the tin, I also decided to just wind the beads around several times. You could also use some of the glittery pipe cleaners that Dollar Tree sells. I've often used those in varying colors to create a nice border around the rim, but it is nice just to finish that off with a decorative detail. I'm showing you here just how beautifully that really does finish off the design. And if you enjoy gingerbread, this next DIY is for you. A very charming, magical little gingerbread world inside of a special tin. To begin, we're going to start with one of the Dollar Tree doll houses, and I've spray painted it using a Rust-Oleum warm caramel color. Once it dried, I'm using the puff paint you see here along with one of the Posca markers to highlight all of the details that are on the house. It's very easy to be artistic because really all you have to do is trace around the design that's already impressed on the house. Here you see I'm just going around the shingles, creating the look of icing on a roof line. After I get all of that outlined, I'm going to use some puffy paint to add some icing details. These doll houses can be purchased in the children's toy section. They're $1.25 each. And again, I want to show you that this is the Rust-Oleum warm caramel, but you can also use some of the apple barrel paints if you prefer to hand paint your dollhouse. I've done both, but I actually prefer the spray paint method because it does give you a very nice finished coat. Now, after I finish outlining all of the little shingles on the roof, I'm going to use some of the tulip puff paint to create the look of icing over the roof line. Here you see I'm putting it across the top. I'm also then going to use some of this iridescent glitter that I bought in a bottle at Walmart. You can find this kind of glitter almost anywhere, including the Dollar Tree. And while the puff paint is still wet, the glitter adheres beautifully. Here I'm adding more of the puff paint just to create that really iced look across that curvature of the roof. And again, once I get that applied, I'm going to sprinkle more glitter. I'm also going to outline the windows. And here you see more of the shimmery glitter, adding that wonderful new fallen snow, crystalline kind of effect. Here I'm outlining the design around the windows. And again, it does make you feel very artistic by just following those outlines. The design turns out so beautifully. I like these Posca markers for creating that effect. There are so many fun details to highlight on this design. I also added on a little miniature wreath that I had over that doorway, and I used some red and green puff paint to create the look of window boxes under the windows. Now I'm going to take these two apple barrel paints and mix them together. Any paints that you have will work just fine as long as you create the look of the gingerbread color. I'm mixing them together, and then to add some texture, I'm adding in some baking soda. Dollar Tree sells these as well for $1.25 a box. And the more you add into your paint mixture, the more texture you'll get. I'm painting some little wooden gingerbread men that I purchased in a package from Dollar Tree. And I want to give them the look of a baked cookie. So that texture adds to that effect. After they dried, I decorated them with that tulip puff paint and some embellishments. For those of you who are new, my name is Lisa, and I offer you a special welcome to my channel. Now as we continue, I'll show you some of the other special embellishments we'll be using for this project. This charming tin once held an assortment of chocolates, and it was a gift from my son Christian. It opens just like those classic lunchbox containers that we used to carry in school. And I'm going to use the interior to decorate the gingerbread village. It provides a nice rectangular surface, which I'm going to line with some foam that I received in a packing box. I just need to cut that styrofoam in the rectangular shape to fit inside, and then I'm going to cover it with this piece of cotton batting. It's actually like a snowy blanket that I purchased in a package from Amazon. After cutting the styrofoam into the right rectangular size, I wrapped it with this snowy blanket and then just set it down into the bottom of the tin. That'll form our snow-covered background for our gingerbread village. And now the fun continues as we add in our first bottle brush tree from the Dollar Tree. This was $1.25, and I really like it. It's nice and full, and its branches are snow dusted. Now here comes our decorated gingerbread house. I added on some pieces of fencing that I also purchased from the Cobblestone Village collection at Dollar Tree. I also added in a couple of those decorated gingerbread men. They're playing in the front yard, as you can see. And I'm just going to set that in place and use a little bit of hot glue to secure it where I want it to stay. Now I'm just going to continue to add decorative elements. I want to add more of the decorated gingerbread men. They turned out so cute. Again, you can buy a package of these for $1.25, paint them and decorate them, and they really do add a nice note of whimsy to the scene. Small Christmas balls like these you can find almost anywhere, including Dollar Tree, and they really do add a nice note of sparkle and shine. I took the little hangers off some of them, put on some hot glue, and then positioned them into the snow. For others, I wanted to show that little gold hanging loop, and I left it on. So you can see here I'm just adding a group of 3. I try to color coordinate the balls with the colors of the tin, and you can see how pretty those look. You can also see that I added a couple other decorative elements to the tree, but I later decided to actually remove those. As your scene comes to life, you'll decide to add or take away items depending on how your theme is evolving. Here, the gingerbread men are going to be playing with this Christmas ornament in the front yard, and I'm just using some hot glue to secure those in place. It's coming to life really well so far. I'd love to hear your comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas. It's so much fun to get to know members of this crafting community. I'm continuing now to add another small bottle brush tree that came in a package from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just tucking it over on that side of the house. I'm also going to add in a larger bottle brush tree behind it, but I wanted to create some layers for visual interest. So here it is so far, and we need to continue to fill this in as well as to cover the back panel of their tin box. To do that, I considered a variety of scrapbook paper designs, but they all seemed a little too busy. They were cheerful and pretty, but I couldn't find quite the pattern I was looking for until I decided that one of the Dollar Tree faux leather patterns would work well. I chose this midnight blue, thinking it would be a very pretty winter background skyscape to frame our gingerbread village. So I cut that into the size that would fit nicely on that back interior panel. Now, just a tip, it would have been smarter to do that at the outset because it would have made the measuring easier. I hot glued it in place on all 4 corners, and now I'm adding in 2 of these glittery branches to create a very snowy looking backdrop. I hot glued them in place, and I just love the icy, frosty look that they bring to this scene. You can see I've also added in another piece of the fencing. I also added in a pretty blue ball to tie in with the color of our blue skyline. I also added in a couple of the small bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree, and I banked in some more of the balls. Another special effect is to add a string of fairy lights into the gingerbread house. You could also put a string under that snowy layer. I chose to put a string into the back of the gingerbread house, and suddenly those windows glow so beautifully, and the lights create uplighting on those frosty fronds. It's very easy to do. There's lots of space between the house and the back of the tin, so the lights fit in easily, and the battery pack with the on-off switch conceals behind. I just love this project. I think you're going to have so much fun creating one of these. And as you can see, I used almost entirely Dollar Tree items. Do you see the little gingerbread man in the corner there? He's decided to put on Santa's oversized furry outfit, and I think it's just the final touch of whimsy. Thanks for watching. I have many more of these planned. And in my previous video, I created some fairy tale scenes on top of a Dollar Tree box, as well as a vintage tin. I also used this same gingerbread design in a busted canvas. If you haven't already, I invite you to take a look at those videos. I think you'll enjoy them as well. And now, friends, here's another look at the 4 containers we designed today. Here, the chocolate container now holds a gingerbread scene, all created with Dollar Tree items. I love the little gingerbread man in the oversized Santa suit. The angel atop this bottle brush tree smiles down on the playful scene that you see in this tin, celebrating the night sky, the moon, the stars. Over here, 50 years of sharing celebrates the good times that the holidays bring, the angel trumpeting on top, as well as the little vintage salt shaker, reminding us to be thankful for our blessings. And here, the Dollar Tree box with the melting snowman and the newfound friend in the forest. I've really enjoyed these, and I hope they inspire you to create some of your own. I would love to hear your reactions, comments, and let me know your favorites. I wish you a most blessed and joyful Thanksgiving weekend. Take care, and God bless.